Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Bryan's Business World. Today, we're talking about how you analyze and manage risk. So, first principles that I want to start off with, and I call it Bryan's Law of Outcomes. And what is Bryan's Law of Outcomes? In a nutshell, if you consistently practice analyzing and evaluating risk, you will, over time, have consistently good outcomes. Now, let me kind of unpack that a little bit for you. So if you consistently analyze and review and study risk and have a systematized process of how you approach it, over time, you will have good outcomes. Now, no method of risk analysis is perfect. There are flaws and pros and cons with every methodology you can have analyzing and manage risk. And you will never be able to predict with 100% accuracy. So that's the overall overarching principle here. So how do you actually, put into practice a process of, analyzing and evaluating risk? So let's go through that. So first up, what is a risk? Okay, so before we go too far into this, in terms of any specific sort of situation or decision you're facing, I want you to question, what is a risk? I think we are taught sometimes from very young what exactly is quote unquote risky and what is not risky. So certain things we've been taught no risk. Other things we've been taught skull and crossbones, don't go there. That's horrifically risky. And many people were taught that from a young age in school, primary school, and no one ever revisits that. First off, I want you to critically evaluate, is it really something risky or is it something you've been taught? Simply bringing that to the table will, I think, be a form of great enlightenment and really clarify your thinking on many things. So let me give a concrete example or some concrete examples because it seems kind of abstract. From day one, almost all of us have been taught, get a job, have a job, low or no risk. So that's what we've been inculcated through college, grad school, primary school, job equal no risk. Another thing we've all been taught is have your own business, equal skull and crossbones, high risk, you're going to go broke, it won't work out. So those are things we've all been taught. If you really look at the facts and evidence regarding both of those, the assumptions built into both of those, a lot of assumptions, keyword there, built into both of those to reach those conclusions, not facts, assumptions built into those, you will find out that that is absolutely false on both fronts. It's basically been a lie that we've all been taught and reiterated. But we're going to keep with this theme throughout our methodology today, since it's something concrete to grasp onto. Okay, so let's say you determine it's a risk, whether to launch your own business or get a job. And we'll grant the premise for now that is a quote unquote risk. So what do you do first in evaluating this thing? The first thing is talk to people. Preferentially, I would have you talk with two people on the job side of things who it worked out really well for. You want to talk to two people on the job thing, one of whom it worked out well for, and the other one whom it did not work out well for. And listen objectively. Ask a lot of questions. Gather data. And listen carefully. So important to listen carefully. The other side of it is someone who had a business or has a business, and then do the same thing. Someone who it didn't work out for, and someone who it did work out for. So you've got roughly 4 people. When you actually talk to real human beings with actual experience, you're going to get valuable data that you could never get from a book or talking to someone in the bar stool beside you or mom and dad or whoever, and really listen to what they have to say. They will also give you insights into what may actually be a risk or may not be a risk that's hidden from view or that you haven't been taught. They will actually be able to reveal a lot. So once you've actually gathered some firsthand information, what's the next step? Step 2, do some actual background reading and research on the area. Read some books, magazine articles, blogs on the internet, a diverse pool of sources. Now, many people do that, but they've actually got it in reverse. They do the academic or abstract reading, without actually talking to anyone with actual experience in doing the interviews. And many people don't actually talk to anybody with any experience in any case. Now, you might be a little bit shy about talking to people, just a quick word on this, who have experience. You shouldn't be. Take them out to coffee, take them out to lunch. People love to talk about their experience, good or bad, and are often waiting to share that with someone. So you think you'll find it very easy to find people willing to talk to you. So again, second step is do some background reading, research, and then sort of meld that with your primary interview data and information. Third thing, talk to what I call a trusted neutral. What is a trusted neutral? It's not necessarily mom and dad or friends. Why? Because mom and dad or friends can sometimes have their own agenda, particularly an agenda of safety. They want to protect you from harm, and they may be, for lack of a better expression, infected with the thinking of risk that is so common in society. Does that mean mom and dad or friends are bad or untrustworthy? No, but they are looking to protect you from harm and what they perceive as risk, whether there's in fact any reality or facts or data supporting their perception of risk. They will bring that lens to it. Are they useful to talk to as a third-party neutral? Potentially, but again, it's hard to assign neutrality to them. What I might recommend is perhaps a former boss that you have a good relationship with, a professor or a teacher that you liked or had a good relationship with, or some other mentor that you may have had, maybe another family member that's more removed, perhaps a trusted aunt or uncle that you have a good relationship with that brings a bit less of an agenda in terms of risk protection to the table. And then share with them your thoughts and your views from your primary interviewing experience and your academic sort of research. Then weigh all of the pros and cons and make your decision. It's so hard for most people once they get to all of the end of this is make a decision. And make sure that you've clearly made a decision, like your course of action is clear. You're setting out on a particular course of action. You're going to do A, B, C, and D. Now, why is that important? Because in our next episode, we're going to talk about how you evaluate your decision. So if your decision and your pathway is not clear, you won't be able to improve your decision-making and your risk management. You have to be able to evaluate outcomes of your decision-making and your risk management to see how you're doing, if it's any good, what can be learned. So if you haven't taken a clear pathway, made a clear decision, that's going to be very difficult. So do not make a muddled kind of play it by ear type of thing after doing all of this process. Make sure it's very clear, very crisp, and you know, if you need to, write it down and do that so that you can evaluate it later. And one other thing, you might be thinking, well, Bryan, this is a very elaborate process for managing and evaluating risk. And you're absolutely correct. It is. A sort of an assumption I'm making with this segment is this is a major decision for you, a major life decision, some sort of turning point. And then you would do this kind of analysis and research regarding such a decision. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed our segment today. Please leave some comments below, email us, subscribe. Look forward to hearing from you. In our next episode, we'll talk about how you evaluate the results of your decisions and your risk management. Thank you.